The rainbows are coming in my plant room. It's bright and sunny today, so I'm gonna work with the sun. Hopefully the footage and stuff that I film isn't too washed out today, because whenever I film in my plant room when it's pretty sunny like this, I have to play around with the settings a lot because it gets super bright whenever I'm filming. But today's video is going to be the day that I finally chop my Monstera Albo that is growing in pon. I cannot believe how much this plant has grown, you guys. I think I put this Albo in pon early last year, and I repotted it recently on my channel. I think maybe a few months ago. I had upsized the base, and ever since I've done that, I've gotten several new leaves and they've increased in size quite a bit. But I'm at the point where the top leaves are now hitting the ceiling, and I would love to leave the plant in the window where it's at. I could move it down to the floor and let it continue growing a little bit more. But the other issue I have is the support that I decided to go with is just a plastic pole that's clear, and it's too wobbly. I currently have it tied to the bar that is above the window so it doesn't lean, because I was in here watering one day and I saw it leaning. I'm like, this is gonna tip over if I don't support it. So that is where we're at. We're gonna chop it. I'm gonna do a top section, a pretty hefty top section. We'll see how many cuttings I wanna take. I wanna take a pretty good amount of Monstera Albo cuttings, and we'll get those kind of set up to propagate, and we'll get to repotting, you know, the top section. And yeah, it should be good. I need to flush the pon out as well, the base. I haven't flushed it in probably a couple months because it's been tied to the ceiling, so, or it's been tied to the rod. I can't like take it down to flush it. I got two babies down here watching me. We got Chai and Luna in here today, so they'll probably be helping me out. It's cold outside. They like being in my plant room because it's warm during the winter months. Since the sun sets lower, it comes in here in full force, so it's pretty sunny, so they love coming in my plant room when I'm in here during the day. But I don't let them in here when I'm not in here because I don't want them into the plants. So since I'm in here filming, they're like, we get to come in and be in the warmth. Yeah. All right, so let me grab everything that I need to get started here, and we're gonna chop at the spot at the window. So I'm gonna need to get a step stool, and yeah, I can't take it down to chop because if I untie it, it's gonna fall. So yeah, we will chop in its spot and kind of work with this space in here. Okay, this is probably the best angle that I'm going to be able to show you right now. And I turned the ceiling fan off so that there wasn't any accidents. I've learned my lesson. This stem is getting so thick up here. So where I'm looking at chopping, where you guys are looking at, this is kind of at the base where all these roots are. It kind of like starts right here. And I have the poles connected. It's going to be tricky because I have the poles connected here. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this leaf. So I'm basically going to cut right here where my finger is. Yeah, this is probably the closest I'm going to be able to show you. So I have two vines. I'm going to cut. I have cleaned my shears with alcohol here, and I would normally recommend using an X-Acto knife so that you get a clean cut, like a clean incision, because when you use shears, you're kind of like squeezing and bruising the tissue. But I don't know where my X-Acto knife is. I only have one, and I really need to get another one. So I think what I'm gonna do is just go for it, basically. I'm just gonna use my shears and cut on the vine where these two plant leaves are. I kind of want to take, I'm just gonna go right here under this aerial root right here and just go for it. And then kind of where the same one is, this one's on the inside of the pole. I kind of want to take in the same spot and cut the vine. pinching my fingers. I need to get some heavy duty shears. Okay, the vines have been cut, so that means, you know what, I'm gonna have to cut this pole. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut a little bit of this plastic pole, which is fine. I think that's the only way I'm gonna be able to lift this off easily. So I'm just cutting this pole. All right, and I should be able to basically lift this top section down. I'm gonna have to cut these two aerial roots though, this one and this one, which is okay. All right, and we have our top. Oh shit, I forgot it was tied. All right, I'm gonna cut the string. Okay, we have one long aerial root. Look at the top section, that's crazy. Look at this gorgeous leaf. This is like one of the pretty big ones at the top. Look at that for Monstera Albo, that's crazy. Wow, oh, look at that leaf. It's mostly green, but it has a chunk of white right here. I haven't been able to see these leaves because they've been at the very top. Oh wow, look at this one here. Oh, this one came after this pretty one. Oh wow. Look at those fenestrations. Holy moly. That is gorgeous. Oh. It was like off the pole leaning to the grow light. And this one here is obviously getting squished because it was like hitting the ceiling because I have two vines. But look at that insane root system. Like, look at this. That's insane, right? I might end up taking this off, but what I'm gonna have to do is take the plastic off, somehow like get these roots out of here, because the issue too that I have is like these aerial roots have grown all the way up and they're like coming out the top of the pole. So I'm gonna have to somehow like maneuver these down to grow down into the pond. I really hope this plant doesn't shock though, because I basically ripped away the entire bottom part of the pole. That's freaking insane. So I think while we let these ends that I just cut callus a little bit, I'm just gonna sit this top section down and we'll work on propagating the rest of the plant and we'll get this potted. I don't know if I'm gonna take any more cuttings. I might take these two lower ones and cut like a little bit more, but we'll see. So I brought it down to the hallway here. I feel like it'd be a little bit easier to cut this here in the hallway. It's crazy. I'm kind of sad. I'm sad in a way that I chopped her, but it'll be okay. I'm gonna work on, I have like some plastic wrap around the vines and some Velcro. I'm just gonna remove all this. I have all these stakes in here too because the plastic was so wobbly. So I'll make sure to link my Monstera Albo propagation video. I go into a lot more detail if you are more interested in specifically propagating Monstera Albo. I did that one last year because I had propagated these guys back initially because they were suffering from root rot. And yeah, I went into a lot more detail. So I'll link that video if you want to watch that about how to specifically propagate. I do water propagation. It's the easiest for me. These guys do so well in just regular tap water. All right, so this one should be pretty short, this plastic piece, since we cut it. probably just take that right off. Yeah, I should very easily be able to remove this plastic pole. These open from the front, so they're really easy to unlatch and relatch. Okay, let's go ahead and chop again before this kind of leans over. So yeah, I'm basically just gonna chop each individual mid-cut up. So I'll go ahead and show you what you're looking for when you take these mid cuttings. You just want to have an axillary bud, and sometimes when the stem gets more mature, it gets kind of woody. I always forget the name of what you call it. It's not like callus tissue, but I'll have to think of what it is. There's a specific name for it when it starts to get woody. This little eyeball is hard to see on this one, the axillary bud, so let me show you on a different one. Oh yeah, this one will be easier to see. Ooh, that's a pretty leaf. Okay, this one's really easy. So what you're looking for when you're taking mid cuts is the axillary bud, which is right there. It looks like a little eyeball. So this here is your node that you just cut. This is the mid cutting, so you cut both ends. That's the axillary bud, so that's where the new growth is going to emerge. These are the aerial roots, so I stick this in water. I usually let these callus for about an hour. Just let them dry because they're a little wet. It just reduces rotting, and then I stick this in a vase of water, give it some really good light. If the water turns murky, make sure to change it out. I usually change it 1 or 2 times a week, and then you'll have new roots growing. You just want to make sure that you are not cutting into the axillary bud. It's always good to have excess room on your node than cutting too much away, because if you do experience rot on the node, if you have more room, you can cut it away versus where you have less room, because if the rot feeds into the axillary bud, then it's not going to be viable. It's not going to grow. Yeah, I'm just going to continue to chop. And I'm just going to cut away these excess aerial roots because I'm going to prop these in water and they'll grow in new roots. I don't need long aerial roots when I do it. I just cut them away. Oh, this is so exciting. It's exciting I love growing out Monstera Albo, so for me it's exciting to see the kind of growth, that I'm gonna get, and then, I don't know, I just really like, propagating Monstera Albo is probably one of my favorites to propagate. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna cut. Oh, these were some of the original leaves that I initially potted up in here. I don't know if I'm gonna cut the base off of the top cutting. I don't know if I'm gonna do 2 more cuts. I'll have to see, but as of right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right now I have 14 mid cuttings, which is crazy. It reminds me when I first propagated these, I think I had like 12 or 13 mid cuttings, and then I did my Aria too, which is crazy. Hello, I am back. It's been about 45 minutes. I went outside to rinse more pond because I didn't have enough rinsed. So that took forever, and it's cold outside. I did not want to do that, but I had to because it's just so dirty. And this is the pot. I actually really like this rippling. So I've been buying the just plain white glossy ones. This is the Cedar brand. It's like an off brand. But they didn't have the white one in stock. It was like going to take forever. So this one was in stock and I got it in a couple days. It's like an off-white. It's like a beigey color, but I kind of like the rippling. It looks really cute. So it has the inner cache pot that you plant in. This is the water reservoir, and it has the meter. And the meter's like pre-set up. I didn't have to do anything except just wash it out. I really like these. Yeah, and they're still expensive. Like this size is expensive, but they're cheaper than the Lechuza ones. So I think this is 11 by 10. I think. I don't remember. I'll put the size up here too that this one is in. So I have my rinsed pond. Yeah, the rinsed pond is here. So that should be plenty for this. And then the elbow. So I was trying to think how I wanted to go about doing this. It's just so rooted in this clear pole, but I'm gonna have to remove it. It's just so unsteady. I would rather use a Coir pole because I'm like, if I plant this plastic down in here like so, but I'm not gonna have anything to anchor it on to. I don't want to use these plastic poles anymore for these big plants. I'm gonna have to do the plastic on the base because I left that plastic one. It's already planted unless I unpot it and switch it out, but I don't want to do that for the base. I mean, I could, but I know the base is so rooted. I would rather not. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out how I should do this. I'm trying to decide if I want to take one more cutting from the bottom as well, like one more mid-cut each, because these ones aren't that rooted. It's a solid mass pressed up against there. That's so funny. I've already had these callousing though, so I don't really want to cut it again. But then this is going to be too far down in the pot. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like the leaves are just going to squish and bust off because it's so low. Oh well, I should have thought about that first. So there's the auxiliary bud right here. So I don't want to cut into that, so I have to cut above. I'll do one more big cutting, and then I'm gonna have to cut the aerial root there. And then same thing, I'm gonna do this side too. Not to cut into the auxiliary bud, which is right there. Okay, cutting above that. Okay, and I'm gonna have to cut these roots, which is fine. Okay, so let me set this down. We got two more pretty, beautiful mid-cuts. I think I want to remove this plastic. I really do. I'm gonna have to, it's just like anchored onto it. Look at all those roots. It's clasped on. Oh, I think I was able to unsnap it all. Oh, I think I got it. I don't know how in the world I did that. Except this bottom one is stuck. Whoa. Look at this like massive aerial roots. That is insane. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get them to come down. Oh, this one's stuck though. Ugh, okay. We got it. No more plastic. Now, I need to get these aerial roots to come down so that they can go in the pond. That's what I need. They need to like twist down without me breaking too many of them. This is insane. These aerial roots are literally insane. Because these are the only roots this plant has, so I need them. I'm probably gonna have to just pull it and separate it. I'm just gonna pull it. Oh well. I did break some of the aerial roots, but oh well, hopefully it's fine. So these I'm gonna like, and this one here, this is a little long to put down in the pond. I'm gonna have to cut this one a little bit. Yeah, so we can guide all these down into the pond. Let me pot that up. Not all of them are gonna be able to make it, but I'm gonna try to do as much as I can. This one here is the one that was growing all crazy. These we gotta get down. This one leaf looks kind of crazy because the way this was like flying off the pole. I'm gonna have to tie them. All right, let me flip this around so you guys can see what I'm doing. Look how sweet. Oh, the little baby. She's so cute. So this is what I did. So I separated the vines. It's just this one, the way that it was growing off the pole, it's just all turned. So I'm gonna anchor one of those PVC pipes, I think, in here before I add the pond. But you see all these roots, I kind of like, I'm gonna stuff them down so that most of these are covered as best as I can so that they can root like in the actual pond. I was initially worried that this pot was gonna be too big, but based off all these aerial roots, like, yeah, this thing is going to grow into here so quickly, especially the sheer size of like these big leaves now, because they're huge. They've gotten so big. So yeah, let me grab one of those PVC pipes and we'll get to filling up and work on like anchoring this plant on. These are the Coir poles that I was talking about. I get this on Amazon. You get a 4-pack and they're like, I don't know, $12, $13. So I'll probably use 2 right now and stack them. They come with some like yarn or string, and they also come with green Velcro ties. And they also come with the white covering, which I kind of like, because they're wrapped in plastic and then you can put the white covering over top. I feel like I need to get this Monstera potted up. The newest leaf already feels like it's getting soft. Because yeah, I chopped away the entire root system. And then you just open this up and there's the PVC bottom. I guess some of this is going to get wet, but that's okay. And then you can stack them. Like so, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put this cover on just because I like the white that it brings. It's like pantyhose. You know, I haven't worn pantyhose in forever, but it's like, that's like what you're doing, putting pantyhose on. I feel like it helps keep it secure too. Okay, so we're gonna add this in here, and this will be our stake. Okay. I think my main focus is just getting the roots covered, and then we will figure out how to secure this on a little bit better at the end. I'm going to use one of these green things for now, but I'm going to switch it out to the string, whatever you call it. I'm losing my train of thought. Once this plant actually starts rooting in here, it'll be a lot more stable, but I feel like the pole right now is a little, I mean, it's not wobbly, but until it like really gets secured down here, I'm worried these leaves are gonna make it lean a little bit because the vine is actually getting pretty thick. So I'm gonna take this string and do my best to kind of anchor the vine one at a time, kind of against the pole a little bit more, just to secure it a little bit better. You can use Velcro, anything you want to use. Okay, now that I have it anchored, this leaf back here is like facing the wrong way, this pretty white one. I'm gonna try and tie some of these vines a little bit so that they're kind of not all over the place. And then once I get this plant back in front of the light, like the window, it's gonna turn and face one direction, but I'm just gonna anchor this on a little bit just so that it's not so far down. I'm just gonna gently tie this up, but it should turn to face the light here. I'll give it a few weeks and it'll turn the right way. Right, and then let's see. I'm gonna make sure to keep the pond a little bit more moist so that these aerial roots can start to grow in some new roots. Because as of right now, this plant just has aerial roots, which I'm a little worried this plant's gonna shock. Just by based on how some of the leaves are a bit droopy already, I'm a little worried. If anything, if this plant goes downhill, what I'll do is just stick it, I'll just take it out and stick it in water. But I really don't see why I mean, pond is like water, so honestly, it should do fine. I'm thinking it'll do fine. The sun is really coming in, so I had to change angles. But I got all the vines tied up. She looks so freaking good. Look at this beauty. I'll give you a closer look at how I tied her and everything. Freaking gorgeous. So the leaves do look a little bit better now that they're not exposed. So I'm gonna go ahead and water through and fill up the reservoir because I want this pond to stay a bit moist. I don't want to risk it drying out because I want these roots to start rooting. Let me lift this up. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna fill up this. Not like a ton, but enough to make it last a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit through here. It's amazing how dirty that water is still. I rinsed it so many times. It's still so dirty. Okay, in we go. Okay, I'll see how that does for now. It's definitely at the low. And hopefully the plant doesn't shock. This new leaf was unfurling like at the ceiling level, so honestly I don't know how that's gonna do. This leaf here is a bit curled, but I feel like it's better than when we first chopped it because I felt like it was getting a little limp. I'm just gonna use some Pure Crop 1 and just do a little bit of a spray. I feel like these are all like fairly new leaves, so they're not like extremely dirty. And I'm gonna get this back in front of my window, especially since I chopped it. It can get like a few more, probably like 2 more hours of daylight before the sun goes down. All right, we'll get her put back in my plant room. I can't believe how good she looks. This is so heavy. Wow. Oh, look how beautiful. It is insane. Like this leaf, look how beautiful. Like, look how gorgeous, right? Oh, it's so heavy. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna put it back in front of the window. Okay, look how short it is now. That is so funny. I don't have this massive plant up at the ceiling anymore. Oh my goodness, how good does that look? The pole's a little bit crooked. I'll have to lean it forward a little bit. I think she's gonna do fine. There's hubby out there. He's putting up Christmas inflatables. It looks so good. Oh my goodness. You can see how thick the vine is too. That's crazy. So yeah, I have both vines and I stuffed as many of the aerial roots as I could down in the pond. You know, you saw me like bending them down. So these were like the few that were, you know, up higher. And this leaf here is kind of down in the pond a little bit. So I don't know if that would be affected. I don't know if that would yellow or anything. And then I tied the vines in multiple places here, just to kind of tie them up a bit more. Wow, Just the sheer size of these leaves are actually insane to me. I've never had Albo leaves this big, so they're just so beautiful, especially the variegated one. Gorgeous. I kind of want to put my Aria into pond, honestly. I just love ponds so much. So out here, we got to go ahead and fix these. So that's what's left of the bottom. I'm going to flush that out just with plain water. I haven't flushed that in forever. And then it's going to regrow from those two top nodes. And then I put all the mid cuts in here. I'm going to take these to the sink and wipe them down. They've calloused probably for like, I think it's going on almost 2 hours. So they've been callousing for a while. So it's fine to go ahead and put them in water. If you get these pots, the Dexter, whatever, however you pronounce it, and you're unsure how to lift them up, because I wasn't sure how to lift them up. I was trying to pry my shears in here and trying to like get in here, and I was like hurting my finger and everything, but they have slits on the inside right here. That took me forever to figure out. So you just like, you know, you can lift it up that way. Ugh. Ah. Yeah, I haven't flushed this out in forever. So we are gonna get rid of that nasty water. I'm gonna dump this outside, and then since I haven't like flushed this in forever, I'm just gonna clean this with soap and water. I'm just gonna use regular tap water and just run it through, flush this out really good. Just to get rid of any like nutrient buildup. Okay, I think that is good. I think I left my nutrient bottle over there. I'm gonna fill this back up with nutrients. Oops, it was actually behind me. The whole time I went over there, I'm like, where's my nutrients? That's a good fill up. Okay. I'm gonna have to make room for this back over there. I feel like I don't really have another spot for this. I don't like that I can see the stains of the aerial roots in there. That's really bugging me because it makes it look dirty, you know? If I open this up, there, I can kind of wipe it. It's not so dirty looking. Okay, that looks better. I feel like when I do these videos in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm only gonna be filming for like an hour. No, it's been like 3 hours, you guys. I'm like, it's taken so long to chop and everything. I hate wasting so many paper towel. Here's a rag. Oh. They're all like in the wash right now. Okay, give these leaves a wipe down. I don't know the last time these have been wiped down. It's been a while. I could have propped this all the way, you know, and just completely take this whole thing down. but I kind of wanted to leave it. Honestly, it's probably going to grow back pretty quickly since it's in pot and everything, and I feel like this will be, I'll just prop it back, you know, when I want more cuttings once it regrows. So that's the bottom, which is crazy. So the auxiliary bud is down in each one of these little crevices. You can see the little eyeball. So it should regrow from each of these nodes, but it could activate a lower one because there's like another auxiliary bud on the node below down there. So it could activate even a lower one to grow. So I'm very curious what it decides to do, but yeah, I'm gonna have to squeeze this one back in there, which I don't have room for both of them. And this is kind of heavy. I can't put this on those other shelves because yeah, it's pretty heavy with the pond. So I need something that's going to be steady. I'll have to think about what I want to do because I don't want to squish the plants at the window. It's just really good light, especially right now when the sun is coming in. It's like full force in my plant room. Okay, this we are going to dump outside. But before I do that, let's take care of these mid-cuts. 16 mid-cuts. That is crazy. So yeah, what I'm going to do, so these are all calloused. I'm just going to wipe the leaves. Just going to spray them down. We'll use the pure crop, just kind of clean them a bit. And I'm going to put these all into water. And we'll make room for them on the propagation shelf in there, in the nursery area. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to need to do 2 per glass vessel just because I don't think I have 16 separate ones. I want to see how many I have and we'll get to filling them up. Actually, I might have 16. I have these and no, I'm not going to have 16. I have all these in here, glass vases, so we'll use what we can. Okay, and I just use tap water. The first one, a little propagation. I'll do the single for now, and then I might have to double some up. I'll just play some music while we do this. Look at them all. Look at all the Albo props. That is crazy. Insane. I had to double up 2 jars. I doubled up this one and then I doubled up this one here. So those are doubled, and then I had enough to do a single one. 16 mid cuttings. That is crazy. Insane. I get attached to certain leaves, like this one here. I'm attached to that one. And this one here, because I like chunks of variegation, I'm attached to this one already. I like this one. I like half moons. And this little one here is very cute. This one here is pretty too, because it has just that one section and the rest is green. So many good ones. A couple of these are mostly green, but the variegation is really good. Like the main leaf isn't that variegated, but they'll probably come in with really good color. That is crazy. Luna's like, what's going on? She's like, help me. Here, let me move this out. There you go. Yeah, use them all but one because the stem wouldn't fit. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, for the video. I'm gonna get all those put in that other room. I think I probably need two shelves, so I need to do some watering in there later tonight anyway, so I think I'll make room, and then maybe I can put like a picture of what they look like in the room like right here on the screen, so you can at least see what they look like in there. And then I usually change the water out once a week, but it depends. I normally give these guys pretty good light, but they'll be under grow lights in that room, so they should do fine. But if the water gets murky, you want to change it. If it starts to get slimy or anything like that, because you don't want the ends to start rotting. But as long as you let them callus and let them dry, they're usually fine. I really don't have any issues with stem rot when I propagate. As long as you're changing the water out, you should be good. Once they get a decent root system and I see the auxiliary bud activating, then I'll let these go. I have had, not a lot, but I have had some Albos grow in all white, and I don't want to sell these cuttings until I can see what the bud is going to do. If it's coming in, you know, where I can see green on it, then I can let them go without selling them with like a full plant and everything. But I usually just like to make sure they're doing well for someone. I don't like to sell them as just cuttings. So it'll be some time. Usually I would say 6-7 weeks to get a little decent root system and for that bud to start activating. But it is winter now, so it might take a little bit longer. So it's December, January, February. So maybe towards like the end of January, I'll see how they're looking. But yeah, they're not going to be on my shop for a while, but I will be selling all of these unless I get super attached to one, because that happens sometimes. I have a hard time letting some of them go. And yeah, I think that's everything for this video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm so excited that the top section is replanted. That has like jumped up to be like one of my favorite plants right now. I think the mint will always be like #1 now, but the Albo is just, I've always loved Monstera Albo. So yes, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about anything, let me know. And again, I'll link my other Monstera Albo propagation video, because that was more of like an in-depth on how I propagate. And yeah, I pretty much do the same thing. It's just water, highlight, change the water out. Even every 3-4 days, if it starts to look a little slimy, just go ahead and change it out for fresh tap water. And yeah, that's really it. I find propagating these guys so easy, and they do so well just in water. Nothing special. You don't have to add anything in the water. And yeah, I'll keep you updated. I'll give you an update. I'll probably do like my next update in January sometime, so you guys will see an update on these like sometime in the month of January. But thank you for watching and for being here, and I will talk to you again very soon.